favourite podcast, of course, Sizzletown. What's it going to be? Ladies and gentlemen, can you please welcome to the stage the one and only Mr. Tony Martin.
Yay! Hello, Tony.
Hi.
Is the technology working?
I'm at my neighbour's house because I don't have whatever this is. So he's asleep. So I'm.
Oh, right.
I'm not
Better ask if they're at home or not.
Yeah. Sorry, we do this.
Are we on?
Yeah, we're on. We're on.
Good.
Yeah.
Where are you, Scott? You're a bit something.
I am under the stairs.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So I've bought some
podcasting
soundproofing.
Yeah.
For under the stairs, but my family tell me it doesn't work.
Really?
Yeah. I
Do they watch the show?
No. Perhaps they will for you. I'm not sure. We had Ross Noble on. They didn't do it.
I'm going. My head should be the same size as you got. Is that?
Yeah, I've tried to do the same thing, Tony, but
There we go. Yes.
There we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, so we thought you said you'd do something special for us, so we're feeling very privileged. So what have you got?
Well, I am one of these people who keeps programs and flyers for every single show that I see, even if I'm just seeing like comics at the local pub. Although flyers, there's not as many since COVID. A lot of people don't do them anymore. The Melbourne Comedy Festival don't have that great stand with flyers for every show, but I've got a box of them here. This is just some on it handily.
Yeah.
And there's programs and flyers going back till 1980.
Amazing.
Wow.
And of all different sizes. For example, the largest one I've got, this is a program for Billy Connolly back in the 80s.
Yeah.
And the smallest one I've got is a flyer for Lessons with Lewis.
Is that a stamp? That's a business card.
Yeah. So those are the goalposts.
Right.
So I thought I'd just go through a few of them and just see if
that's great.
Please. Yeah. We've got lots of comedy nerds that watch the shows, so this will go down a treat.
Well, are any of them old enough to know who Dick Emery is?
Yes. Oh, hang on. I'll zoom in. There we go. Dick Emery.
Is anyone
I do.
I do know.
Yeah.
Yes,
what was his catchphrase?
Well, he had a number.
You are awful, was it?
Yes, he had a number of different characters, and I think it was that character there, whose name is Hetty, who would just go, "Oh, you are awful, but I
That's
like
it.
you." And you're probably thinking, what was the show? So this was at the Founders Theatre in Hamilton, New Zealand in 1980.
Wow.
And you're going, well, how was he able to do all those characters? And what the show was he had a string quartet on stage, and he would come out and do one of his characters, and then he'd pop backstage, and the string quartet would play a number, and then he'd come out as another character. I think he did 15 characters over the course of 2 hours.
Wow. It's like a radio show.
Look how it folds out into a souvenir poster of Dick Emery.
Oh, God.
Nobody. One.
That is fantastic.
Nobody needs that on the wall.
No, I've never bothered to stick it up. Now, I thought I'd better have something from Adelaide. So this is a show from the Adelaide Fringe in 1994, which I saw, which was Lano and Woodley's very first show.
Oh, wow.
This was because up until here, they'd been a trio, of course. They were Found Objects.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that they launched this show, which went on to win the Perrier Award, the fanciest award in comedy in Scotland.
Yeah.
So later that year, or was it? Yeah, it was 94, and that was in I can't remember what venue was it? The Lion Theatre.
Oh yes, it's a beautiful theatre too. So
you
performed there recently, didn't you? With Arseless Chaps?
Yes, with Arseless Chaps.
Yes.
Of course. And you'll notice it's directed by Neil Gladwin. Do either of you know who Neil Gladwin is?
No.
Yeah, he was in Los Trios. What are they called? Los Trios.
You mean Los Trios Ringbarcus?
Yes, that's what I was trying to say.
There they are there. and their show Rampant Stupidity, which I saw in New Zealand in 1983. And this is the show that I often go on and on about in podcasts that I claim started live comedy in New Zealand, because when I lived in Auckland in 1983, there was no live comedy. There were no venues, there were no stand-ups. And then Los Trios from Australia, who also won the Perrier Award, I think it was like the second or third one ever, they toured New Zealand playing pubs doing comedy, and people just in New Zealand were like, hang on, you can go to a pub to see something that isn't bad.
Yes.
It's a DD Smash with Dave Dobbin. And within about a year and a half, there was a single monthly comedy night in Auckland. So I always say this is where these guys from Melbourne, who really we have to blame for everything from Alan Bro to Guy Montgomery.
Yeah.
No one agrees with me or even remembers this. What else?
When did they wind up Los Trios? I can't even say it.
They went to America and had a show on Broadway that was a smash hit. And I remember at the time, Robin Williams and Steve Martin both went to it and said, this is the best thing we've seen in years. And the story I always heard is they got a deal to do a movie, and they wrote the movie with whoever wrote Pee-wee's Big Adventure. And it was going to be made, but then there's that thing, it's a phrase called in turnaround. So the someone else takes over the studio and they don't want to make any of the projects that are in development. Yeah. But Trios couldn't get that script back that they'd spent ages writing. So they came back to Australia and made a film called Garbo. About Garbos, which no one remembers.
No, I don't.
Directed, they hired Ron Cobb, who was a cartoonist a famous counterculture cartoonist from the States, who I think designed the sets for Alien. Is this too nerdish?
Oh, no, not at all. It's fascinating.
And he came out with Hollywood and directed this film, despite having never directed a film or anything before or since. Yeah. And it didn't turn out very well, and Los Trios broke up. And
Neil Gladwin went on to become a director. Did he have something to do with the Olympics?
Yeah, I think he directed the opening ceremony of the Olympics or something in 2000. And Steve Kearney is still around in Melbourne. He produced that film Oddball that came out.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
So they're still around, but it's shocking how few people know who they are. Yeah. I'm going to keep going. Look at this. What have I got here? Bill Hicks. There's me. Seeing Bill in Edinburgh. Wonderful. We've been in 1991.
How was he live? Good?
Amazing. Yeah, it was like a 2-hour show. And it was before he sort of started coming out with flames and it was like in a long coat, like he was in Mad Max or something. He was just a stand-up comedian when I saw him.
Yeah.
Well, he was on Hey Hey Saturday. Lots of people don't believe.
I remember seeing him on Hey Hey at Saturday doing fairly standard material, and which when you see it now, it feels a bit out of place, but he did.
Because he comes out, he's wearing the usual black suit and smoking a cigarette, but it's against that colourful Hey Hey background, and he comes out with that na 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 music, and I think John Blackman keeps
going. I love watching the old Hey Hey stand-up clips because even if the audience isn't laughing much, John Blackman is just roaring with laughter over the top, ha 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 ha. Sometimes mocking laughter as well. It's like he just laughs.
And then they would go to the ads, and there would be music. And he would always go, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He would just say that every time. But then there was...
And na, 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 I remember. I used to always say to my friends, just listen carefully. John Blackman always goes, na, na, na. And,
really?
I do, yeah.
And then you just, nurse.
Yes.
And there were just so many weird things on Hey Hey that you forget. Like Tism were on Hey Hey at Saturday.
Yeah.
I don't think Daryl was very happy with their performance from memory, but
wasn't it? Did they not let him drum? Was that the trouble? What else have we got? Okay, by way of contrast to Bill Hicks, here's a program I have for More Sex, Please, We're Seniors.
Oh, is that a sequel?
Written by John Michael Housen.
Oh my
goodness
God.
me. Wow.
And I went and saw that because
Wow.
a friend of mine's dad was in it. So I went and saw a dress rehearsal at the Comedy Theatre, and it starred. And what I realised as I sat there is it was all about old people in an old folks' home. But I'd worked with every single person who was in the play. There was Michael Beach,
Let's see that.
Tracy Harvey.
Oh, Mark Mitchell, look at that.
Wow.
Tracy Harvey, who I wrote my very first jokes for TV. I wrote for her on the Max Gillian show.
Right.
And who else was in there? I think Mark Downey might have been in there. I can't remember. But yeah. But it's great to see a dress rehearsal of a comedy because there's just no laughter in the theatre at all.
It looks like Andrew Fife may have drawn. It looks like Andrew Fife's kind of drawing, to be honest.
Wasn't he on this show recently?
Yeah,
he was.
Yeah,
he was.
Yeah, it does look like an Andrew Fife original. Well, looks of things.
Yeah. Did he draw pictures of you during the
broadcast? He did. Yes,
we do. Yeah. We do have a drawing of us from him. It
hasn't
been framed yet, but it will be.
It wasn't Mark Downey. It was Jane Clifton.
And
Yep, you pockets. Let's move on from that.
Yes.
Here's John Cooper Clarke.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
At the Glue Pot Tavern in Auckland in 1983. And the reason I have this is because I saw John Cooper Clarke perform there. And like I say, there was no live comedy in Auckland in the early 80s. But what I did is I realized during his performance that if I got a wig like that, sunglasses, and put on a suit, because I was incredibly thin, that I looked exactly like John Cooper Clarke. So I arranged to come back the next week, and it was a band performing, because you could sometimes get on and do 5 minutes of comedy before a band if you had something musical. So I dressed up as John Cooper Clarke, and I had a reel-to-reel tape recorder with music on it, and I came out, and I got them to say, you know, he did so well last week, he's back again. So I came out with John Cooper Clarke. And if you see John Cooper Clarke, it's just very monotone sort of poems to electronic beats. But I did nothing but Eagle songs. I was rolling down the road trying to loosen my load. I got 7 women off my mind, just like that for about 5 minutes until I got canned off and people realised that
it wasn't him. He's still around now, isn't he? I think he's still
around. He's got a new book of poems out called What, which is really good. And he's on a podcast. If you are a fan of him, I recommend listening to his episode of Adam Buxton's podcast, because he has him on, and he talks about how he liked the film Snakes on a Plane. So he's written a sequel called Parrot in a Car. And Adam Buxton thinks it's a joke and he laughs. And then John Cooper Clarke spends the next 10 minutes detailing the storyline of Parrot in a Car. And it's like he's conceived this entire movie. And it's quite brilliant.
Is it a sequel to Snakes on a Plane?
But it's clearly inspired by.
Inspired by.
His job, and it's going through a divorce and is trapped in a car on the freeway with a loose parrot. I'm wondering his brilliant idea. Look it up. Yeah. How long should I do this for?
Keep going. I was about to say the Parklet Man would give that 0 stars. That movie. Yeah, totally. Yeah.
He hates. What do we watch? That's my cat, and anything with birds in it. We put on the film The Birds. Alfred Hitchcock.
Oh, God.
Birds. He was just staring at the TV. And then he, of course, what he does is he goes behind the TV to see where the birds are. What's going on? Rowan Atkinson. There's another one I saw.
Wow.
I'm going to go.
Did he come here a couple of times? He came here in around 87 as well, didn't he?
Yeah, I think I've got that one.
Have you?
Who else? I've got a bunch of British comedians from the 1980s. If we've got Rowan Atkinson, we also have to have Smith and Jones.
Oh, wonderful.
Notice how I've learned to lean. You learn that from Holly Melton.
Yes.
To lean the album covers forward so they don't reflect.
Oh, you've done well.
Oh,
That was Mel and Griff. I saw them in Brisbane in 1985, I think. And of course, it was
that was when they were at their peak.
Yeah. Smith and Jones. Here's
But
Spike. That would you get away with that now?
No, definitely not.
No, front of your theatre program.
Wow.
When
And
was
you got to
Spike
see him
Milligan
live?
here?
Wow.
That was. This is from Auckland again. This would have been 1984, maybe around there. But he used to tour. Spike Milligan would, for about 7 years, toured New Zealand every year on what he described as his annual farewell tour. And I think it was 10 years consecutively where he did that. Oh, look at this. This will interest comedy nerds. This is the Melbourne Uni Review. Laminex on the Rocks from 1987. And who was in that, you're wondering? Well, I'll hold the picture up and see if you recognise that person there. It's Michael Molloy.
Wow. He's a good-looking young chap.
Looks like John Cusack.
Yeah, it does a little bit, yes.
And also Jason Stevens, who was also on The Late Show with us, is now a successful producer. He was in that.
Look at that head of hair.
Wow.
We all had a lot more hair back then.
Yeah, tell me about it.
I love just choosing. I'll just choose one at random. And I've got Andrea Powell in How Do You Like Your Eggs? I have no idea what that show was. I used to go
I think that came to Adelaide. I seem to remember
Andrea's
the Adelaide
hilarious.
Fringe. Yeah.
People would know Andrea Powell is best known as F and Chop.
Yes.
Yes.
From Triple J. Yes.
Yes. Oh my God, the parade of 80s British comedians continues. We've got Julian Clary.
Yeah. When that tour came to Adelaide, Peter Gers, the local critic, who actually is a comedian now. Since he quit his nighttime radio show, he's become a comedian. And he tore that show to shreds. And,
I think everyone I know had their show torn to shreds.
Yeah.
Right. Well, if any of them feel like heckling him, he does comedy now in Adelaide.
Yeah, there we go.
Julian Clary would have been scathing about that review, though.
I think he said he would never come back to Adelaide, and I don't think he has been. I mean, he may have been by now.
I was about to say, it's been quite a few years. Yeah. Is he still doing comedy?
Yeah. Julian Clary.
I'm never coming back to Adelaide. Alexi Sale.
Oh, wow. I love Alexi Sale.
And, of course, Bobby Chariot. He was his own support act as Bobby Chariot was the warm-up man for Alexi Sale on one of, not on Alexi Sale's stuff, but on a later one. I think it was called The All New Alexi Sale Show.
Right.
And he was, I'm on pills for me. What was his? He had a catchphrase. On pills. I can't even remember the second bit.
What a way to keep the cash. You could just your own support act. That's fantastic.
What have we got here? Oh, here's someone from Adelaide, Sean McAuliffe.
Oh, Sean McAuliffe.
And
with Stephen Curry.
In Good Evening.
That's the
show.
Yeah. I don't think that came to Adelaide. Wonderful. Wow. That's uncanny.
I did this show illegally in Auckland. Me and a friend of mine found the script for Good Evening.
Oh, wow.
In a library, and we put it on for 5 nights in a theatre, and we didn't have the rights to do it. We just put it on in Auckland. I played all of the Peter Cook parts, and my friend played all of the Dudley Moore parts, and we probably foolishly just copied them, just did their voice. So I just did it as a Peter Cook, E.O. Westy character. But Sean and Stephen very sensibly just did it as themselves. But it's a great show.
I saw Sean McAuliffe do a 2-man show with Glenn Nicholas here in Adelaide a few years ago. That was a great show too. And it was interesting because some of it, there was one scene, which is the only one I remember really, which was quite sad. It wasn't really comedy. It was like about a man putting his father in a home, and it was And then after that, it was like on to Milo Kerrigan or something, you know.
Really?
So it was a great show. It was, lots of variety.
Because Glenn, again, I'm speaking about things that are almost 40 years old, but do people remember the big gig on the ABC?
Yes.
Yeah.
The pate biscuit.
Well, Pate Biscuit, apparently Sean used to write all of Pate Biscuit.
Really? Yeah, right.
Anyone young watching this will be totally confused. Hey, here's a show. Marcel Marceau. I saw Marcel Marceau.
Wow.
Wow.
Very quiet show. I actually have no real memory of this show, but apparently I
right.
Marcel Marceau in Auckland. Possibly.
Yeah, I've got the CD.
Yeah. Put it on with that John Cage one as well.
Yes.
Let them fight it out. Oh, look, I saw the producers on stage with Nathan Lane and Matthew.
Wow.
Wonderful.
And this is a really crazy experience I had, because this was in 2004, and I was in New York, and they were the original cast, of course.
Yes.
They hadn't done it for years, but they were back doing it just for about 6 weeks. And you couldn't get tickets. But someone said to me that if you went along and you queued up at 1 o'clock on a Wednesday afternoon, you could get tickets. You know, they would release 4 or 5 seats. So we did that, and we got seats. And so we went and saw it on a Wednesday night, and it was fantastic. And I remember it was the day that Martha Stewart, remember Martha Stewart?
Yes.
Had gone to jail. Remember she went to jail?
Yeah, that's right. Yes, yeah.
And so they kept breaking out of character and just doing jokes about that. And then Nathan, time to hammer back the fourth wall. And then they go back to the show. And it was like a brilliant production. But then, so that was on a Wednesday night. And then on the Sunday night, we're in our hotel and we're still in New York, and they show the final episode of season 4 of Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Oh,
you
wow.
remember the plot line of that season was Larry David being in the
producers,
in the producers.
Yeah.
And the final, it was quite a brilliant ending, because all through that series you're going, I just don't know why Mel Brooks has cast Larry David in the producers. Yeah. And then in the final scene, you cut to across the road, and there's Mel Brooks and Anne Bancroft in what I think was her final screen appearance.
Wow.
Talking about, and it's exactly like the scene in The Producers where they're at the bar across the road from the theatre going, it's going to be a disaster, we're going to be rich. And they cut to Mel Brooks and Anne Bancroft, and Mel Brooks goes, this is, I'm going to fuck it up, but he says, this is great because, Larry David will destroy this production, and then you can call the whole thing off, and I won't have to go to bumfuck Arkansas and say about the local cast, this is the best cast yet. But the whole plot of the season was the same as the plot of the producers.
Yeah.
So that's what we saw on the Sunday night, right?
Yeah.
So then the next day, I get on a plane, I fly back to Melbourne, and then on the Tuesday night, I turn on the news, back in the days when you would turn on the television.
Yeah.
And there is Mel Brooks on stage at a theatre in Melbourne with the cast of the local version of the producers, with Reg Livermore. And he's going, this is the best cast yet. Bert Newton's so good, I'm going to take him back to Hollywood and put him in the movie. It was exactly like, so we went Wednesday, we saw the show. Sunday, we saw the Curb thing. And then Tuesday, I'm back in Australia seeing exactly what. Was that the longest story anyone has told?
I don't know. Akmal told a few long ones as well. It's a long form show. We've gone for last time we had you on, we were doing a 5-minute podcast, and now we've gone the opposite way, and we're going to do the longest podcast possible. So,
well, I've only got one more program that I've got out here, and this is a Auckland production from 1983 of Grease, right?
Yeah.
Starring Tom Sharpling, who was kind of, I guess, New Zealand's Frankie J. Holden.
Mm.
And a theatre called the New Independent Theatre, who were an amateur theatre company, but who would hire professionals in the top 2 roles. So it would be professionals in the leads and then all amateurs in the supporting roles. And I did the publicity for this production. So I think my name is somewhere. There's my name just somewhere in the thank yous, right? So I'm in that list.
Oh, there you are.
Right. And then I was looking at this a couple of years ago and I'm going, I wonder who was in this. I wonder if anyone was in this that went on to be famous. And have a look at this in the cast. I don't know if you can see that. Can you read that? Look who's playing Roger. You see that?
Roger. Russ LaRock?
Russ LaRock.
Russ LaRock.
Russ L-E-R-O-Q. Rock. Do you know who that is?
No.
Russell Crowe. That was what Russell Crowe used to call himself when he lived in New Zealand.
Really?
Did he?
Le Rock.
Wow.
And anyone watching this wants to Google the phrase Russ LaRock. In fact, I'll do it now. Shall I do that now?
Yes, it sounds great.
Okay, I'm going to Google Russ LaRock on this.
It sounds like a great stage name, to be honest. I know Russell Crowe's, okay, but Russell
LaRock, it is a good name.
Band, but he just calls himself Russell Crowe now. I think he should go back to being Russ LaRock.
I think so too.
Okay, here we go. Here's Russ LaRock. That's hang on, sorry.
He could be like, Russ LaRock as the gladiator. Like it's got merit. It's sounds good.
Russ LaRock.
Russ LaRock.
Oh wow. God, so young.
Oh, what a handsome young man. Yeah.
And there's a picture here of
LaRock. I think there used to be a nightclub in Adelaide called LaRock.
There was the LaRock, the
LaRocks.
Russ LaRock, his single, I Want to Be Like Marlon Brando.
Oh, there we go.
Yes, clearly.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that, I remember seeing that single in every record shop in 1983, and now it's probably like 10 grand.
So I kind of thought that 50 odd foot of grunt was just an afterthought, but he's going back to his roots with that band.
Yeah, well, I've had a very strange, because I look at that and I go, wow, I've worked with Russell Crowe. I'm almost working with him there. And I've had this strange parallel, because we're exactly the same age. I think he's like a month older than me.
Right.
Both obviously from New Zealand, and then we sort of worked together on that. And then, of course, he was in the Late show I was on in the 90s. He was Shirty, the slightly aggressive bear. Yeah. And then I did a film called Boytown, where I named my character Kenny Larkin, which was the character he played on Neighbours. So,
wow.
I just to have this weird parallel.
Yeah, with Russell Crowe.
Yeah.
And
so you don't hang out with him?
I'm now imagining you in The Gladiator at the moment. Yeah, I'm going through the film with you in every scene of The Gladiator. That's what's going on in my head.
He wasn't in the second one, though. No, of course he wouldn't have.
No, he wasn't. No.
He wasn't a ghost. They didn't bring him back as a ghost.
Maximus. Yeah, like it.
I loved him as the Pope's Exorcist. And
that was a fantastic film, to be honest.
And
like that
on a moped. He was dressed in a sort of cassock. He jumped. He's at the Vatican, and they go, "We're going to send you to, I think, Portugal to do this exorcism." So he jumps on a moped, and he just drives off. And then they cut to him arriving in Portugal, and I'm going, "That would have taken about a week." That's the movie I wanted to see. Was just Russell Crowe on a moped going from Italy to Portugal.
Yeah. He's a fascinating man. That footage of him that came out last week, telling autograph seekers how to handle themselves. You stand there, and then one of them asks him, "What did they say?" One of them asked him for something, if he can sign as one of his characters. I don't remember which one, and he just went, "Nope." It was just brilliant.
I think it was Maximus. I think it was. Yeah. He said, "Nah."
As his character from Virtuosity with That was when I met him. He was promoting the film Virtuosity. And I was
right.
how he had spent 6 months studying serial killers. And that was kind of frightening.
Well, so he was in Adelaide for a bit then, I'm guessing. No. Doing some research.
That was amazing.
That
feels like you've opened the Holy Grail. Have you shown people that before, or do we have an Adelaide Tonight exclusive here?
I think I've dragged it out a couple of times. I did a show years ago called A Quiet Word, where I would speak to comedians on the arts department of the ABC. And somewhere in this box is a program for Bill Bailey. Yeah. And I said, "Oh, you were in this show," and he goes, "No, I wasn't." And then I pulled the program out and showed it to him. I have no memory of doing that show, but clearly I was in it because my name's in the program.
Wow! So it's solved many arguments over the years. That box of flyers,
and in pristine condition as well. They're like some of even the artists probably wouldn't have some of these.
No, there's just so like I'll just choose. Like let's just choose one at random.
Yeah, sounds great.
Okay. This is a play called A Tomb with a View.
I think 1982.
In 1982 in Hamilton, New Zealand. I did the props. I was the props man for that production. All right, let's find something I didn't do. Hang on. Here we go. What is this? Oh, okay. This is one of these things they do in Melbourne for the comedy festival. It's got multiple shows in it. So
right, yes.
We got in 2012.
Charlie Pickering.
And we've got
Lucy. We've got Claire Hooper.
Lucy, Claudia O'Doherty, who is fantastic.
Wow.
Who else have we got?
That's a quality page right there.
Frank Woodley.
Woodley.
Oh, he's got the centerfold.
Right. And you have a connection to Leno and Woodley that I don't know if everybody's aware of. There was they did 2 series of Leno and Woodley, the TV show, right?
Yeah.
And I believe a third was written but never went into production. And did you write some of that?
I wrote an episode on spec for what was going to be the 4th series because they did They did 2 series totaling 13 episodes.
Right.
So that was back in the days when round the world people wanted to buy 13.
Yes.
So the idea was they were going to do the 3rd and 4th series back to back. And I think they had already written the whole 3rd series, which was never made. And then they were getting, the first time they were getting other people to write for the 4th series. And Matt Quartermain from The Empty Pockets wrote one. Matt Cameron, playwright, wrote one. And I wrote one. And I think I wrote one and did a storyline for a second one. And obviously they would have, rewritten it more in their voices. But I do remember driving around the block constantly talking to myself as just, what are you talking about, young man? You're just talking as Cole. Talking as Frank. Just trying to generate conversations as them. But it was axed by the guy.
Crazy.
Now, so we can say his name, Jeff Portman. And the show had been, as I understand it, they might correct all this. The show had been commissioned by, I think, a man called Dennis Watkins, who ran the ABC comedy department for 2 years and only commissioned 2 shows during that time, the McAuliffe program and The Adventures of Leno and Woodley. So that's pretty strike rate. And then
that's pretty good.
Jeff Portman took over and he didn't like Leno and Woodley because the phrase I heard was it wasn't topical enough.
But it's timeless. We still watch it. Even now, we watch it consistently, and my kids watch it to the point where I took them to the Fringe this year to see the new Leno and Woodley show, which was amazing. I loved it. And the kids loved it. That's that timeless comedy, that cross-generational. It's such a rare thing, and it's a shame that it. Yeah,
I remember it. Someone at the ABC. Because I did a few DVDs for the ABC, and I remember someone saying to me that I think that was their all-time best-selling DVD for a while. That series, because, and I remember Wayne Hope and Robin Butler. I remember them saying to me that it was the only show they could watch with their kids that both that they liked and the kids liked equally.
Yeah.
And it's a classic show. I watch it about every 4 years, and it hasn't dated at all. It's weird seeing Jeremy Cooley in one episode, but apart from that, right.
Best theme tune. Yeah, I think to a show. I reckon. Like it's just, it was just catchy. Like straight off the
wonderful.
Off the bat. So,
wonderful.
We've got Corey.
Like
the episode where they're in Blockbuster trying to remember the name of the actor guy is the greatest.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I wrote the episode. I wrote, I think, because I do a podcast called From the Hideout with Joe Vincaro, with Lessons from Lewis, and with Pete Smith, of course. And I have never been to our Patreon, but apparently we have one. And I think if you're on there, you can actually read my episode of later on.
Oh, right.
Can you? Oh,
it's worth signing up for then.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's okay. It's one where you read it and you go, I haven't quite nailed their voices. Like they would have made it more them.
Right.
But it was so much fun because I remember writing. You can just write visual jokes, that you couldn't do with anyone else. And I remember
visual comedies are a dying art, like when you think back, even now, I did show the kids some of the goodies, but you do have to be careful what you show. But the visual stuff is just amazing. Some of it, like that episode, the movie episode where they're all making a different movie.
Right.
Old fashioned, technology. But you watch it and go, that's incredible. Yeah,
the cat. Everyone remembers the giant cat.
Yeah, yeah. And the fact that it looks a little bit dodgy, that's part of the humour. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think, and that was with you guys in the Late Show, Piss Week World and all that. It was never polished.
No, well, we just because that all happened, and I think I've even talked about that on one.
I think you might have.
We just started filming things on home video, and they looked rough as guts because there was the only home video on TV in 1992 was the Funniest Home Video Show.
Yeah, Graham Kennedy.
But we would film these rough sketches, but you could film something elaborate in like 25 minutes. That if you shot it with a whole crew would take an entire day. And, so we just love the energy of that, but the image quality was terrible. But we just kind of loved it, how it looked. We loved that bad lighting look.
Yeah. What's interesting though is it is kind of going back that way with like you read this week that the BBC has just cut their budget by millions. Right. And I was even this week, like Kyle Sandilands has quit ARN and he's just going to start his own podcast thing from home, live thing.
He's going to be doing this. He's going to be doing what you're doing. He's going to have that same background you've got, Scott.
Yeah, he'll be under his staircase. It's probably a little bit bigger than in here.
You're going to use it, Scott. There'll be a reserve sign with a gold microphone in there, like it's.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Jackie,
I was going to say something inappropriate then, but I won't.
Well, I agree that the budget cuts and everything. The answer to that is to just come up with an idea that looks good, cheap.
Yes.
And I'll give you 3 examples. The one I always use is Marion and Jeff, the one that Rob Brydon did, where it was a single camera filming him driving around in his car, complaining about his divorce. It was a brilliant show that you could make for no money. Yep. Another one would be Alan Partridge's Mid-Morning Matters.
Mid-Morning Matters, which is great,
on webcams, but it was like it was supposed to because it was as if you were watching the webcams. And another more recent one that's been going for years, I think has got a lot more elaborate in recent years, is On Cinema with Tim Heidecker and Greg Turkington. That for the first, just them against a really bad backdrop of a cinema that was sort of badly chroma key behind them. And I'm going, that's.
And there's one Peter Kay car share. I don't know if you've seen that. It's quite good.
No. Yeah,
it's just Peter Kay sharing cars with colleagues from work. So that's all it is. Just the car journey. It's quite good. Yeah.
Well, and shows just get cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. And I remember I mentioned the McAuliffe program, but I remember that was the last series of that was made in the year 2000. So that's 26 years ago. Jeez, and I remember Sean saying to me, "This is the last time you will see a sketch comedy show made on this scale with all this set budget." And then I remember maybe 10 years later, I was working on The Librarians, a sitcom, and they had made the first series had been 6 episodes. But then the second series was 8 episodes, but I think it was made for the same amount of money as 6 episodes. And I remember Wayne Hope saying to me, the problem is that we did it. And now that we've done it, they're never going to go back.
Right.
Well, you can do that. You can make 8 episodes for the price of 6. Great. So that's what you're going to do from now on.
That's
it's smaller and smaller, but people still expect production value. So that's why every Australian sitcom is mostly just set in an office.
Yes.
That's all people can afford to film now.
Yeah.
So my boring speech that I give to people is then we have to come up with ideas that look good, cheap, like On Cinema or Mid Morning Matters. Because if that's all we've got to spend, let's come up with something that looks good on that scale. Much as people like to be doing spectacular, stuff.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's got a bit. I've got on my soapbox, haven't I? I've got on my.
No. There's no structure to this, really. It's just a chance for us to catch up with people like yourself and have a chat. That's really what this is. So thank you. And
a show on the cheap would also be just Pete Smith with Melbourne Pelvis. Just I think that'd be fantastic. Just
it's funny you mentioned that because Pete Smith did do a Tonight Show in Adelaide.
Yes,
it was called Adelaide Tonight.
Yes, it was.
So we've paid tribute to that show.
It is. We and Ann Wills was on it. We love old variety TV. And we checked, and the name is no longer registered because we were. Right. So I spoke to someone I know at Channel 9, and they said, "No, you can use it. No one's using it, so that's why it's tonight."
Right.
I actually have a Pete Smith signed bow tie, and it was so generous. So he said, "Oh, I don't want to sign the front, so you can still wear it."
Fantastic. He showed me an episode of Adelaide. Was that what it was called? Adelaide.
It was Adelaide Tonight. Yeah,
and it was fantastic. It was one with where Dame Edna was on, but Dame Edna was running late, so Pete just had to fill for about half an hour until Dame Edna got there, and he was fantastic.
Yeah, wonderful. All right, well, thank you, and please do come back again. We would love to have you back and dig further into your box. That's
Well, in saying that, Adelaide Tonight was ran by Ernie Sigley, so you can maybe get the head of Ernie Sigley out to Tony, and we can recreate the old Adelaide Tonight.
Okay, so I think you got to explain that.
You don't actually have the real head of Ernie Sigley.
It's at my house. Yeah, it's from the Hideout. We talked about this. Pete had brought around the head of Ernie Sigley. It was like it was for a sketch they'd done where presumably Ernie was decapitated. And it was like really realistic and disturbing. And he just left it at my place. And then about a week later, like a tradesman had to come around to fix something. And he was just like, oh,
wow.
You got the head of Ernie Sigley.
It's like the variety TV mafia.
Yeah. So we could recreate the old Adelaide Tonight, Scott. There's still a chance.
Let's do it. Yeah. We tried to get Ann Wills on, but she's no longer in the state, apparently. Yeah, she's retired and so declined.
I think you said she's no longer in the state. She's no longer in the state of South Australia.
I don't believe she is. I think she's moved.
Wrong, isn't it?
Yeah, I know. Like it's
I would assume that, like the people on that show, Widows Bay, who can't leave that island, I would assume that And Wills can never leave South Australia.
Yes, that's right.
I just because that it would just take moving trucks to get rid of all the logies. So they have to stay
earrings,
here.
of course. One truck for the earrings, one truck for the logies. Yeah,
that's right.
You know, I was on the second to last episode of her morning show.
I'm
with
Adelaide.
Richard Marsland.
With Richard Marsland.
Yeah, with Richard Marsland. It was the day I met Richard Marsland. I'd already met him that morning was he on SAFM maybe?
Yes, yeah, he was doing SAFM. Yeah.
With Limo? Was he doing a show?
He was doing a bit about Limo and Amanda Blair, or maybe it was Limo and Millie there for a while as well.
So this is 2003, I think.
Yeah.
And so I got interviewed by Richard on his radio show, and then I went to be on Ann Will's show, and I look at the chair, and it's not Ann Will's, it was Richard Marsland was interviewing. And while he's interviewing me, people were literally taking things away because the show was ending the next day. And so like furniture and pot plants were just being taken out of the studio.
Oh, right.
But it would have been so cool to be on the last and
that would have been great.
Second to last is not as
second to last. Yeah, I've told this story before, but I did work experience on that show.
Right.
And the episode I was there for was the guy from Chocolate Starfish was the main guest. The singer from, I don't know his name, I'm sorry, Adam something. But so he was on, and so I was the work experience kid, and he took a sip from a cup, like a glass of Coke or something, and handed me the cup. And I, even, at that age, thought that was quite rude, and I didn't want to take his cup. I was, like, I don't want your cup. So I said, no, I'm not taking your cup. And he got quite annoyed.
Really?
Yeah, so
that wasn't on the show.
Yeah.
That would have been great. Larry Sanders kind of drunk.
Yeah. But I just thought, I don't know, I didn't want his dirty cup.
He just bent over and...
Do you remember the other guests on the episode? Who else was on?
Oh, Kevin Crease. Kevin Crease was there.
Yes,
yeah.
Who used Channel 9 newsreader.
And
his son was in Frenzal Rom.
He was. Yeah. No longer with us, Kevin Crease, but he used to be on Adelaide Tonight back in the day also.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I love watching. Do you ever get onto YouTube and find an old Dick Cavett show from the 70s?
Yeah. There's some great ones, yeah.
Name who the guests are. Like I was watching one, and the three guests were Truman Capote, Groucho Marx, and a guy from the zoo with a sloth on his arm.
Oh, Jack Hanna.
And they're all having a chat.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, great. And it's all very low budget. It's great, yeah.
Yeah, there's just the whole set is made of shag pile carpet.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. No, there's some great stuff. I like watching, what's the 70s music show with Wolfman Jack? What was that show?
Oh, is it? Oh, yeah. There's one, the Midnight Special.
Midnight Special.
There's another one.
Yeah. No, that's him. But there's a whole library of episodes. I think every week they drop a new one, and some of them are amazing. You'll get, the Commodores, and then Tina Turner will do a song with the Commodore. That's just all this really random stuff.
And stand-up. There'll often be stand-up. Franklin and Troy will turn up.
He was. I know you know Franklin Ajay, but I was cleaning out my garage last weekend, and I found a book called Comic Insights, which was interviewed. I never realised that he was the author, and I was just looking at this book and went, Franklin Ajay's the author of that book, but that's a great book.
Well, he lives in Melbourne. He moved to Melbourne in the 90s.
Yeah, right.
And he constantly claims he's retired, and then he'll just be dragged out of retirement for something. And someone told me they went to see, is it Russell Peters, who plays like stadiums, or who plays where the tennis is on. I don't know the sporting venue.
Rod Laver Arena. Yeah.
The tennis centre, whatever.
Yeah.
And Franklin Ajay came out and did like 20 minutes before Russell Peters, because Russell Peters was apparently a fan, and so just tracked him down and dragged him out of retirement again. But he must be in his 70s.
That's
we'd
crazy.
love to. We'll have to try and get him on here.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah. Bring him out in retirement again.
Sure,
We
he'd
know
love
Russell
to.
Peters, but look, we'll give it a go.
He's
Yeah.
great. He's so
Yeah.
such a he was one of my main. I know it sounds bizarre, but he was like one of my main influences when I started doing stand up in 1990 because I'd seen
wow.
him often out in Melbourne doing shows, and it's great.
Yeah. I think there's quite a bit of stuff of his on YouTube if you go digging.
He's got an insane list of movie credits. Like he's in Car Wash, and he's in Convoy.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
He's in The Burbs.
Yeah.
They're crazy. He's in The Jazz Singer. He said to me once, he goes, I'm the only person in the history of cinema who goes to jail for beating up Neil Diamond and gets bailed out by Sir Laurence Olivier.
That's fantastic.
It's a good title to have. That's
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on, Tony. We really appreciate it.
It was a pleasure, mate.
All right,
And,
cool. Thanks for having me.
Perhaps,
I don't know how to switch this off, so I'm just going to be in this box till the show is over.
All right. Yeah, I think you just unplug and you'll be fine.
Right, okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks,
Talk to you soon.
Thanks, mate.